Afternoon, Bill O'Leary coming to you live here on this Thursday as Hurricane now Tropical Storm Ian is sort of skirting to our east, and thankfully, looks like most of us will have missed the impacts. Is certainly that we saw down in Southwest Florida. So they're certainly in our prayers. So I was debating whether to go live here today with the storm, but just sort of sitting in my office all alone here, and figured, well, what the heck? I'll go live because some of you may just be in your computer looking for things to do anyway. So you're stuck with me for the next 5 minutes or so. So what this is for those of you that maybe are seeing me for the first time. But I'm Bill O'Leary, and I'm an attorney, estate planning, wills, trusts, and estates and so forth, elder law, probate. And my firm is Legacy Planning Law Group here in Jacksonville, Florida. And so what I've been doing for a while now, probably over 2 years, is what we call our Thirsty Thursday series. So I go live every Thursday about the same time and talk about sort of a different, item that I see, topic that I sort of see, maybe something that's come up with a client engagement, maybe something I heard from a client, a question I was asked by a client. And so again, we call it our Thirsty Thursday series because if you're thirsting for knowledge, then you certainly come to the right place. So let's jump right in. Today's topic. So for the past 5 weeks, I've been talking about each of those 5 weeks about a specific kind of asset that's a really difficult, problematic asset to inherit. And so it's the 6 worst assets to inherit. And I'm now up to the last one, number 6. So again, the previous weeks I touched on numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in order, and this is the last one, number 6. Physical property with sentimental value. So, in fact, last week I talked about vacation property. So let's talk about sentimental items. Fights, they don't just happen over, you think, maybe rare or maybe valuable collectibles. When it comes to family arguments, actually, they can happen really over the smallest kinds of sort of physical or tangible property. Household and personal items can, frankly, carry more sentimental value with money. I like to say to people, sometimes where we see the fights, it's more over the stuff, not the money so much. So what that does is when these fights happen, emotions take over and can lead to disagreements. These kind of assets are also harder to sort of divvy up. So let's say that there are 3 kids. 3 kids. Who's going to end up with mom's wedding ring? Difficult choice. Another problem with physical property is that it's harder to tell what it's worth. So let's say for jewelry and antiques, people, they often will overestimate what they think it's worth as they leave those items behind for their loved ones. And it frankly might create unreasonable expectations. So let's talk about jewelry specifically. It's usually very expensive to buy, but it often loses a lot of value very quickly when you try to sell it. Antiques aren't as popular as they used to be. On the other hand, let's talk about other property might unexpectedly be worth a lot. You didn't think it was worth much, but it is worth more than you think. So imagine that someone, just as an example, dies with a wardrobe full of women's designer suits that could be sold for a considerable amount of money. And if the deceased loved ones who inherited it hadn't bothered to check, they might have ended up donating it to, let's say, Goodwill or the Salvation Army. So to avoid trouble, look, start planning out your physical property ahead of time. Don't leave it to chance after the fact. Make it clear who's going to receive what to prevent arguments. In fact, when we work with clients, we will spend some time to talk to them about a very specific tool that we put together called a personal property memorandum, where they can specify for their tangible personal property items. Tangible, something you can touch and feel, like this desk here, or a chair, or think jewelry, furniture. They can specify who's going to get what of their stuff on this personal property memorandum. And again, we like to say where the fights happen tends to be more so over the stuff than the money. Okay? But if you don't think that you're going to be able to make a decision on who's going to get what, or maybe you're not sure that even by laying out those specific items earmarked to specific people that it is going to eliminate the fighting, then hey, why don't you just try to sell it while you're still alive? That way, you will be leaving behind to your loved ones the simplest and most effective asset that can be inherited: cash. Cash. So this is going to wrap up that six-part, that multi-part series on very difficult assets to inherit. I hope you've enjoyed it. Next week, I'm going to be jumping to an entirely new and different topic. And if you'd like to know more about sort of those very difficult assets to inherit, and maybe how we can help, we would invite you to sort of take a baby step, to go ahead and talk to us on the phone. Schedule a phone call that we call our discovery call. It's a free phone call, and it could not be any easier to schedule. Just go to our website, legacyplanninglawgroup.com, legacyplanninglawgroup.com, and there's a blue button, a couple of them on the home page. Book your free call. Click on it, boom, takes you straight to our booking calendar. Just pick the day and time that works for you, and it's a chance for us basically to hear what is on your mind and to start a conversation. If you have enjoyed this video, I kindly ask that you like it, and better yet, sort of to spread the reach, if you could share it with your friends. And if you're looking to find out some things about some other sort of estate planning, elder law related topics, I would invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Legacy Planning Law Group. We have sort of a growing library of videos. We keep adding new videos every month. So I hope you've enjoyed this talk about the 6 most difficult assets to inherit, this one being items, tangible items that have sentimental value. As I said at the beginning, I'm going to give another talk about this same time next Thursday. Again, part of our Thirsty Thursday series. And so if you're thirsting for knowledge, come back and we will quench your thirst. So on behalf of everybody here at Team Legacy, go make it a great day, stay safe, and make it a better world.